Destroyers, how are you going? This is Create and Destroy. I am Jordan Jan, and today's podcast is dedicated to all the runners out there going out, getting ready to run through Death Valley for the Speed Project number 5. Now, I was lucky enough to be invited by AMPM and TSP to head over to the US in 2018, actually, for TSP 4.0. For those of you that don't know, the Speed Project, or TSP, is a really rad running event that is an ultra relay style. You start in Santa Monica in LA and you end in Las Vegas, Nevada. Obviously, it's a race, so quickest way possible wins. Our crew, our team, it was just such an amazing time. Everybody in the team, Nick, Dan, Harry, Bon, Maddie, George, James, Machu, Josh and Mads just made that race and that trip like something that I don't think any of us are going to forget. So we thought it'd be great to crack some beers, get a couple of boys together to reminisce and hopefully share some conversations that are helpful for all the teams that are tying their shoes up and getting their socks ready to get out there this year and try to put some serious times down. Now, like all great things on Create Destroy, this is definitely dedicated to helping people maybe gain a little bit of insight. Hopefully it comes through in the podcast, a lot of the things that we learnt. But as a super quick mini recap before we even start, my biggest tip for teams out there is if you want to be a high performing team and you want to, really make this shit enjoyable, you've just got to look out for your homies. You just got to put safety number one. You've got to make sure everyone's having a hell time, and you just show all these traits to one another. You need to care and trust one another, respect each other, and just make sure you've got each other's back. So before we get into it, I want to say thanks to AMPM, to everybody in the team. We aren't elite runners. We are everyone from designers to photographers to real estate agents in our team. And we were out there training before work and after work, just like a lot of you out there getting ready for TSP. And that's what makes this so rad that, we're not getting paid. We're just doing it because it's fucking fun. That's it. So good luck to everybody hitting the desert. Put some sunscreen on, keep cool, and run fast. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Create Destroy. Any questions, hit me up at Jordan Jan on Instagram, or I'm sure you can find me. You found the podcast. So without any more fucking around, let's get into it. This is Create Destroy.
With mics and headphones.
That's it.
Nothing good about it.
Just prior to being going viral.
Thunder.
Oh, is that?
If that's not a sign.
Moody, man. That's moody.
That's moody. So, dudes, we are live. We're recording. We jumped on in. Today, we've got the gang. We've got the most people I've had on the podcast so far. So this is going to go one of two ways, great or completely shit. So let's figure it out. This little episode is going to be breaking down the Speed Project. What was it, 4.0, dudes?
Yeah,
I think Number
so,
4. Yeah. The Speed Project, or TSP, is an unsanctioned running race in America. It starts at Santa Monica Pier, you end in Las Vegas. Unsanctioned means there's no real path to follow. There is a recommended path and a guide that you should follow. 50 kilometers. You can see how rusty the memory is. I think I've tried to erase it from my mind. But today we've got 4 of the 11 people in the AMPM crew that went over to race. And we're going to break it down and talk about it. So I think the best, so everybody can understand it and know who's here, I think a little intro. We've got to the right, we've got Josh Bass over here. What's your voice sound like?
I hope it sounds good.
Just like that. So real
just like that, yeah. Thanks, team.
Then we've got our bro, Willocks.
Kiwi contingent.
Yeah, the international flavour. And we got James.
Howdy.
What's going on? Dudes, it is been nearly a year
How
It's
good.
terrifying.
Crazy, hey?
It's mental, hey. I can't believe it's taken that long. Well, one, the whole team hasn't got back together since we were in Vegas, just because of life.
True. We
And
We lost one, didn't we?
We lost one, not to forever.
Just to Canada.
Just to Canada.
Not
Dan
forever.
went there. So maybe just start with, let me break down the team. So the running race starts in Santa Monica Pier at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ready, set, go. You're in a team. We were in a team of 8. So it was 7 dudes, 1 girl. There's a thing called the OG team, which is the original team for the TSP, the originators, Niels and Blue and their team. That was 6, which is 4 guys and 2 females. Then you start running basically, and there's no rules. You can run 50 meters, you can run 50 Ks. It's up to you when you want to tag out, and essentially is a relay race until you get all the way to Vegas. Our team was Willocks over to my left, Willocks, Jimmy, Dan, Nick, Harry,
Bon.
Georgie, and myself.
Yeah.
So that was the
squad.
8 runners in the run team. And then the support crew was Josh, Big Joshy, who's just here as well. Mads,
Who got in there for a few links as
oh
well.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's I think we'll break that up. So there was Josh, Machu, and Mads. Mads that I talk about too much on the podcast, my girlfriend who's here. She's going to go to the gym soon. So she's not on the microphone. So when the door slams, that's her, everybody.
So yeah.
So dudes, let's go all the way to the start. We all met up in LA a week
did.
before. When did you guys come in
drips
together?
and drabs.
Yeah. Did
was
you
like
guys
the-
all come in
It
together?
was like the Monday before the Friday start that we got there.
Oh, so it was only 4 days. No, sorry.
Pretty much.
4
Yeah.
days.
Get there, get your legs out, get running, and then
Did I come in with you?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yep.
It was like 5 or 6 of us in one group. Were you
I
already
know Mads and I went in a week before that. We hadn't been to America before. So we went to
tiki touring?
Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
Korea. Kentucky.
No, tiki touring, you know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
tiki touring around. Yeah.
A little Kentucky before the race.
Dirty hostels. And
Yeah. So we were in a week before. Then you guys came in 4 days out.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Did you come in at the same time?
No,
Jimmy?
I reckon I came in a day later. So the Tuesday morning, rocked up the door at like maybe 6 in the morning to a
That's
very,
right. Yeah.
very hazy Geordie answering the door.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's
We were
right.
like half asleep looking a zombie.
Yeah, you came in super late.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, I was whatever the flight is gets in like 5 in the
Yeah,
morning there.
that's
So I
right.
was there bright and early.
I remember. So I got an Uber from Koreatown and tried to meet like the main amount of crew were all arriving at the same time, and we rocked up, Mads and I, and most people were already there at the house that we were all staying at together to kind of get team vibes and prep that we'll chat about in a sec. But just at the same time, Dan from Canada rocked up. We'd never met. None of us had met him except for Nick, who's one of his best mates from Canada. And do you remember he had food poisoning?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he
I
went
was-
straight upstairs.
That's the
didn't
first
you?
thing I heard
Yeah.
when I got there. He's like, oh, Dan's been like puking all night. I'm like,
Oh man,
sick.
he got like a dodgy chicken wing or Chinese or something. And I remember being like, oh, this Dan dude. Hey man, how are you on the street? He just looked at me and he was just like, yep, good. Sour. And I was like, oh,
It
fuck.
was a real stiff intro to Dan.
It was, but
Yeah.
poor dude.
Yeah.
He went and he slept it off, had a cold shower, and then he was ready to rumble. So to paint the picture, we get into this house. We, of course, there's heaps of nervous energy as all other teams, I guess, could, back up. I think everybody, unless you've done it before, you're so fucking nervous. And even doing it again, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be shitting myself.
So much
Oh, man.
unknowns.
Yeah.
You can only do so much research and like
Yeah.
prior to getting there, or it's just rather being nervous, it's using that as excitement, you know, like
Yeah.
channeling that energy towards something.
I feel like that made like all those like lounge room brainstorms
Mm.
kind of so much cooler, but also everyone's just trying to like know it, like act like they know what they're doing. We're all
Yeah.
just making it the fuck up. Like
Mm.
you've got these like spreadsheets and like highlighters and like cutouts or whatever map, and everyone's like, all right, sick, you're doing this leg. Like everyone's all right, we're gonna move this to here. Everyone's like,
But like,
Sure.
no one no one knew each other that well.
No.
Like I didn't know you guys that well, I would say.
Not at all.
Well, let's break it down all the way to the start. Like, I didn't know any of you fucking dudes.
Yeah.
We just met.
Yeah.
And you
Like,
came on late as well to like the crew, didn't you?
I think to the crew, like, so AMPM being a run crew based out of Melbourne. See, Matt. AMPM being a run crew based out of Melbourne. I just moved to Melbourne maybe a year before. Was doing a little bit of running, kind of solo, doing my own stuff. Met you at your store, Josh, at Spacebound.
That's right.
And I think through conversations, you were like, "Oh, do you run?"
Yeah, I don't know how we got onto it. I was just like, you've got to
mastermind over here.
Exactly. You've got to come down.
Yeah, and then eventually, I came down. I think first night I met both of you guys first night down there on a Tuesday going for a run. But yeah, you're right. I only got the call up last minute because
Sam and Henry both got they got shin splints and fractures. It was fractures. Stretch fractures.
Well, and long story short, I got the curse. So I got that.
No, you got the call up, bro.
I got the call up followed by the shin splint curse. But yeah, 19 days out, I kind of joined the team. But I mean, Willocks, we were chatting before about training for it and how you would train a gang. What was your training leading up to it? Because we all had super different training.
Look, how do you train for something like that? Like, you kind of approach people that have done it before and listen to their training methods, but you've got to listen to your body, I guess, and how you are. Like, how do you run? Do you run hard and fast or whatever it is?
Long and slow.
Long and slow. Like, at the end of the day, there's no rules. Like,
Oh boy.
It's me.
So look, my training method was holistic, strength training, time on the feet, and then as much recovery as possible. And
You were very good from what I saw. Like, you were across everything. Hey,
thank you.
Yeah.
Look, and that's
in true Willocks fashion.
Lol. But yeah, look, I just came an approach where I actually remember the day when I signed up to the thing, to the race, and so many people were either going to do it, and a buddy of mine, Tom, he was going to do it, and then ultimately pulled out as well. But the moment that I signed up, I was like, this is bigger than me. I'm doing this as a team, so I want to be the best version of myself come race day. I put everything into training.
Well, how many Ks a week do you think you were smashing?
Look,
like average
60 to 75. Like,
it's still big weeks, man.
And that's it. Like, I know Jimmy was training heaps as well.
Jimmy.
And like, it comes down to preparation. Like, I know that you've done 19 days of prep, like, but then it's come down to like mental strength and team environment. So when you're in the race, it's your team. It's not like, you are running in the middle of the night by yourself, but 6 miles away, there's going to be someone there, or maybe there's not, or there's a person from another team there
chasing. It's one of the rare times when a running event turns into a team sport, I think. And I think that's its uniqueness, is that any other race that you go in, it's 100%. If you're doing any ultra stuff, it's more of a team vibe, I guess, because your crew supporting you along the way and that sort of stuff. But the general 10K run around, it's pretty much tie your shoes up and get going. That's it. So Jimmy, man, you're doing some Ks, right? Out of everyone, you're probably doing the most Ks in the team.
Yeah, like it's
training wise.
Just like kind of just came with the territory you sign onto. Like, and it also like having the Strava group and seeing everyone's stats kind of keeps you competitive.
Yeah.
Friendly competitive. So but yeah, it was just a thing of like, all right, well, I know what I'm in for. And if I can be as prepared for that as possible, like across the board, like whether it's like weight training, conditioning, mentally, like there's a lot of things you get sent, like there's like the kind of semi-official TSB training program, but that was...
Dude, that was way before my time.
Yeah, that was like really intense. We got this sent this PDF that was like just a write. Like, oh, you should be doing this many minutes
but that's
on this
like
day.
elite. I think we just wanted to finish.
Yeah, totally. And it's just like the time that had going into it, it's like, all right, on a Friday, you're going to run for like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't have time to do that. Like, I'm going to...
I got
like,
fucking work to go.
Yeah, I got like an hour before class and before I got to eat, have a shower and actually get there.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm never going to like be awake enough to actually like get shit done. I can't just like weigh myself every day. So you got to like adapt around that and then get in what you can.
Yeah. And so then Josh, but the other thing we should definitely point out, you're running heaps as well before, and you're on the fence the whole time whether you wanted to be in the crew or run.
But I think I completely missed the boat in terms of getting on. I was interested in it, and I think I just got commitment issues, right? So
in more ways than one.
I think what happened, yeah, exactly. So I think what happened was Willocks was just on my back, persistent, being like, "We need more crew.
Yeah,
we need more crew.
We need you. We needed you." And like
And
you were
we did,
one of the biggest. Like everyone was an asset, and when like we needed you, and you came. You provided.
So you tell me there was a bit of peer pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure to get
Willocks
on that plane.
Swinged a few things in my favor, so it was good. We hung around for a little longer, so it was I think I jumped on board. Booked flights 2 weeks out as well, probably.
I think it was about the same time I booked.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to get on the journey until super last minute. It's kind of how I like doing things.
Yeah.
But what a decision.
And so just rewinding from the house, we just went back a little bit into training and stuff like that. And there was the one thing that I think brought us together is we had that little team session at the start. And not to jump into the session, but I think one of the most important things to consider for TSP is probably not going to be athletic ability, but it's more going to be how to read each other, how to go, oh shit, Willocks looks like he's good. He wants to go again. Sweet. I'm going to put myself aside, let him run a bit further. Then it's going to be my turn. And on the other side of the fence, it's fuck, man. Jordy needs a hand. I'm going to tap in here, and having enough self-awareness to recognize these situations. And we, as a team, jumped into that before we even got on the plane, which I think, I don't know, what do you guys think about that? If you were to tell another team that's going over this year, for me personally, I would say, guys, make sure you're cool with each other. Make sure you understand that it's bigger than you. You're going to get it done, and just learn how to be adaptable.
It's just learn to take help, drop the ego, and then just listen to your teammates, I guess. Like they might not be screaming at you, but they might need it. And you just got to be like, look, are you all right? Or whatever it might be. Or like, you just do you, I'll do all this in the background, and then like just keep pushing.
That session that we had before we went at the store with Rochambeau, that was
shameless.
Yeah, exactly. Had to have the shout out, but I think that was sick. And I think or for me personally, like you're thinking about everything that we're all talking about. And you're like, yeah, of course I get it. Like it's going to be mentally as tough as it is physically for everyone. But I think it was or for me speaking personally, I think it was a different ball game once you were actually in the moment. Like I think sometimes you'd go in and out of forgetting the things that we talked about. I'm like, you've got to be aware of everyone. I think it was epic, like how we finished it and how we handled ourselves. But for sure, there's still hiccups.
There was still testing times. There wasn't,
absolutely, man.
And I don't think that any team, I don't give a shit how elite, how in tune you are, how zero ego you've got. There's gonna be times you're in a highly stressful. You're in the middle of Death Valley. It's hot as shit. You've just run. Your shoes are melting. Your body's aching. You haven't slept or eaten. You're going to flip out at someone at some point.
And you don't know everyone else's triggers, right?
No, exactly.
And you can't pretend to know what they are or even know your own, right? Unless you've been in a situation where you're just absolutely fucking spent. You're dehydrated. Yeah. You're like, you delirious. Need a break. Yeah, delirious. Yeah, true.
It is a delirious kind of aspect that I remember just zoning out on the road, just going, holy shit, where am I? So let's, I want to get into some juicy parts, some of the juicy things. So this is the speed version. You start there, you start running. We had a little bit of a strategy as a team, which was basically, let's cut up the whole thing up into 10-kilometer chunks, essentially, was to generalize. There was some a little bit shorter, some a little bit longer, depending on where a safe spot to park a van or an RV were along the way. A lot of this went out the fucking window.
Pretty quickly.
But ready, set, go. We're running. You're in the first team. So there's 8 runners. We decided to split AM/PM team into AM team and PM team. And so, team A and team B, essentially. Jimmy, you were in the AM team.
Yeah, I had the second leg.
You were the second leg.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So
Dude,
Nick
was nuts.
Yeah, Nick legged it out of the gates.
Nick was fast out.
Absolutely legged it. Yeah.
Dude, so tell me, what did you see? Like when you spotted, where were you and what did you spot?
I know, it was insane because we got we're at the start line and everyone just obviously is losing it, like absolutely losing it. Like you never see a road like that before. Just not just RVs parked for like as long as you can see, with just people just bolting across the street, like just shit, like flags everywhere, like people was like taking photos and like running around. But then like, you know, the start goes, everyone just legs it.
So were you in like Hollywood?
No, so this was like, I started like right where
it was a weird spot. Hey, it was like there was a service lane. It
was actually super weird because like, and the worst thing was like we kind of weren't ready because we like went to buy gas. Like,
were you there too, Josh, on that spot?
Well, I was driving that first leg.
Shit.
So I was like watching the clock as like, so like Nick jets off the start line at like 4 on the dot.
That's right.
And then we like drive up like Santa Monica Boulevard or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
For however long, and then we're gonna chuck a left to go up towards like where Sunset Boulevard kind of takes this weird dog leg.
Yeah, that's right.
Like so kind of near, like pretty like kind of north of Hollywood or something like that.
And I'm like, we got quarter tank.
We got a long way from the tan.
Yeah, a long way from anywhere like my little block. But yeah, we stopped to get petrol. And then there was some weird thing with the card. We had to prepay. It was so early. So I'm like watching the clock and I'm like, fuck, if Nick's running like 10Ks, he's going to be jetting. He's going to be like meeting us at the spot at like 4:35, 4:40. It's getting to like 4:25, 4:28. And I'm like, fuck. So we end up getting to this weird, it was like an intersection, but then there's like the road kind of inclines to the service lane. You got to park in the service lane so you're not in the way of other traffic or some shit.
Yeah.
So we're sitting like, just pull up down there. I get out of the car. Don't even have time to like pull my lights on, for my like tie my shoes, probably get my like my phone in my pocket before I see Nick like tag me, and I'm like, fuck. Yeah. So I'm running for the first K with like just juggling all this shit.
This is still, and it's still pretty pitch black at this stage. Yeah, so right? It's early morning.
And that's the thing. It was like the sickest thing because it was like not only LA like dark, quiet, like fogged out. Yeah, it was so early and kind of cold, and then just like all you see like the whole way is just like all these like just runners and like little blinking lights around. I'm just like chasing these people. I'm like having some chats with like some people, being like, oh, you know, what's up? Where are you from? Like, and this is all like while I'm running
bloody 3:30 or something.
Yeah, I ended up running like 11 or 12 Ks at like 4:10s and not even like feeling it because I was just so just keying on adrenaline.
So that first team, Josh, you're driving the van.
Yeah.
You've now got some fuel. Nick's in the car. Now there's 2 other stops along the way. So Jimmy, you've run your 10, 11 Ks. You tag in George?
Tag Harry.
Harry, that's right.
Tag Harry.
And then who was after?
Dan was after.
Oh, and then Dan.
Dan was after. Dan.
Yeah.
And so the PM team, we were in our RV. So we've already driven up the road about 40 kilometers, 45 Ks or something. And so Willocks, we're up there.
You know where it's going. I know where it's going.
So at the same time, we've driven 40 Ks up the road. Parked on the side. There's a couple other vans there, ready to do the old switch over, and we looked. You need to go to the bathroom, eh?
Well, look, I'll give you a bit of backstory for that. Like, right. I stayed in the RV. Apparently, you had to stay in the RV, or some people had to stay in the parking lot where you picked the RV up from the night before. And me being the team player that I am, put my hand up.
Listen to it.
But anyway, and then the rule of the RV, which we later found out was,
I think,
total
disobeyed. You can't go to the toilet in the RV. Number 2,
no shitting in the RV.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you've just done a night playing. Playing to the rules.
Yeah, stickler for the rules, but until they need to be broken, then you get in the grey.
So I'm super regular, so I need to go often, and I don't have much warning. Beers, boys, beers. So we were in the outskirts now of LA.
It was like
Pasadena. We were,
yeah, something like that.
So we're out there. I think we both looked at each other and I was like, man, I need to go to the bathroom. Do you?
Yeah.
We went for that hike. That would have been a K away. That 7-Eleven.
Yeah, got some supplies from some dodgy ass 7-Eleven. Looks sick though, but ultimately.
Well, next door was a laundromat.
Yeah.
So the 7-Eleven we went to that we thought there'd be a bathroom, no bathroom. Next door, there's a laundromat at 5 o'clock in the morning.
You pay a quarter to go.
A quarter to get in the door. So you went in first.
And it's the age of like there's abandoned town. Who's going to be doing the laundromat and need to go to the toilet? There's no TP. We got sponsored by some sock company. I was like, I can't use my socks. So
Shout out to Stans.
yeah,
Stans to this.
Thanks, Stan.
I'll respect your socks. They were great. Just lost the jocks.
You had to
go.
use them.
Yeah.
Dude, so I'm standing outside the toilet and I need to go so bad. Willocks comes out. Dude, I will never forget the look on your face. You were so perplexed. You were just like shattered. Like, what's going on?
I haven't even
walked
done my
out.
first league yet, you know. Like,
We haven't even started running. We just had the nervous energy we needed to sort out.
Okay.
Dude, I walk in there, sit down, business happens, and then I go, oh, there's no toilet paper. Fuck. Looking around, and then I kind of got pissed off straight away. I was like, he didn't even fucking tell me.
I've never heard this. This is the first time I've heard this.
Oh
This is
my God. So
ridiculous.
this is going to make so much sense.
This is
of why
ridiculous.
The RV rule got broken.
Yeah.
Is because then I go in there and I sit down, business happens, and you're not looking for TP until you need it, of course. Sit down and I go, oh, fuck, what's going on? And I go, Willocks, you dick, you should have told me. Ah, shit. And then I kind of laughed and go, fuck, that's why he was looking so scattered. Like, what was going on? You were
Just walking around Nicholas, you know?
Yeah.
You guys weren't the same the rest of the trip, were you? Just shattered. Friendship was broken.
Well, so I didn't know what to do.
All solidified.
I didn't know what to do, but I didn't want to use my socks or my jocks. And so I started getting like thrifty. And then the rubbish bin, in the rubbish bin in this toilet, there was no rubbish in the bin. I don't know where you put your fucking jocks.
In the bin.
No, they weren't there.
100%.
Fucking this story just got way worse now because I ripped out a bunch of the plastic lining. I used the plastic bin bag. I ripped out the plastic bits and I had the old plastic
And
wipe.
it was wet wipe central back in the RV as well. So like we had abundance of
Oh, we
materials.
had so much.
Everything was there, good to go. Walked out, we both just fucking pissed ourselves. Going,
That was good.
fuck, I use my jocks, I use the fucking bin. I use the plastic. And so we haven't even started running yet. We get back to this damn RV. Kind of didn't want to say anything, kind of embarrassed. Like, oh man, so funny. But that's why I just went, fuck it. If I need to go, I'm using this toilet in the RV. Like, I'm not risking it. That already sucked. I'm not doing it.
That's
again.
almost the recommending to teams in the future.
Yeah.
Just use the RV.
Yeah.
Just do it.
TSP recommendation number 1. Just fucking use the toilet.
You got to go. You got to go.
You just got to buy the supplies. There was an extra $25 at the RV place, I think it was, for them to empty the grey waste.
Yeah, like $2.50 a person.
Oh,
But I like how I
Genius.
found this out about 3 desert shits in.
Just
I
dropping the bombs. Wow.
I had one real toilet use the whole time.
no
And then
way.
just
I'm sorry, dude.
sitting off logs.
You should have just asked.
It was such a taboo area. No one's talking about that kind of stuff.
It's
PM
better.
crew. PM
Well,
crew.
in the PM crew.
Sometimes it's just better to ask for forgiveness, you know?
Yeah.
Even when we switched up teams, it just went so unspoken. He's like, don't touch the fucking
Oh, we were
toilet.
empty by then. We had nothing to go. Oh man, so leg 1, Willocks, you tagged me into every leg.
Correct.
So you run a
That's the best.
7, I was running 8.
Yeah.
Every time?
Every leg.
time.
I can't
Did
remember
the whole race with Geordie.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
What was the big switchover?
So
like-
That was right before Death Valley, right?
that was just after
'Cause there was
the
a-
trail leg I did.
As in the very
yeah.
was it like the very first switchover
Oh,
where
the
like there was so much excitement, like
Oh,
because I remember
okay.
driving in, we'd all done
Oh.
clock the 40K.
So,
You mean
okay.
like AM to the
So
van to the
that's
RV?
where the infamous toilet stop was.
Yeah. So that was
Right.
Harry the
And
Bomb.
Oh, epic.
do you remember that video of Bond getting tapped in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's when he sprints off super fast. That
Yeah.
was the first
Yeah.
handover.
that was huge.
It was too, yeah.
like
yeah.
he was off like a rocket.
mate.
Bond smashing it.
It's like funny looking at the very start of the race compared to like kind of some of the other spots in it. Like we were just the energy was so epic from
man.
all teams.
But how can
Man.
you know it? Like, it was
Oh,
just
100%. Yeah.
Your first leg, Willocks, do you remember it?
Yeah.
How did you go? Were you hooking?
I remember it. Yeah.
It was,
No doubt.
I guess, out of the Hollywood Hills.
Mhm.
Like first real range out. Kind of.
Oh, Pasadena Hills. Those. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that's
were
what
on
they call-
incline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was on incline,
Mhm.
and I just remember all this training's counting for now, so just punch it. And then I was just like, all right, well, maybe don't punch it, but like take your time. But God, it was good. It was so good. Just getting some Ks up.
Finally. It was like that week, the week before, you've got so much energy. You don't know whether to go run like you have been overall in like training. You don't know whether to push it. Then that first leg, when you're finally running, you're just like, yes, this is what
I don't know how
for.
you guys did it, because like even the night before, like we got to sleep at like 11, 12, 1 a.m. to be up at 4. And that whole night, everyone's like, all they were talking about is like, I just want to run. I just want to get running, like get moving, like finally crack into it. So there's so much nervous energy. And like even the week before, I feel like even for myself, because we've been just necking the training, putting 20 Ks in, and you have like the 1 week where you're kind of supposed to rest and like ease up. You kind of like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah,
so everyone's kind of just got this pent up,
you're
like
ready.
I guess ready, roaring to go.
I was the same with driving. So I just watched Drive on loop. Ryan Gosling
playing all this Gran Turismo.
Yeah, you remember the gloves I had?
Oh man! So, dude, that first leg, I remember you were real strong, and like I was so pumped when you tagged me in, just ready to run. And I started on this funny little kind of a flat for probably pretty flat for maybe 800 meters, and then I started climbing as well, because it was just those first hills going out. I was so nervous, so excited, so like ready to go. Especially, I was the 8th runner, so essentially I was 8 hours of waiting.
Yeah,
you were 7 hours. That's kind of the before you can start running. Like Jimmy had 45 minutes, and you're in the race. Yeah, not even. Nick smashed it, and he was so quick. But I remember, I don't know do you remember this? You gave me water along the way. I was hooking. It was pretty hot by this time. It was probably 11 o'clock or something. Oh, how's the maths there?
Yeah. I remember the league.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, something like around 11. Has me counting.
Oh yeah, you had a spew.
I had a spew first leg. I spewed.
That's right.
I'm out there running. Oh yeah, got to get it. Yeah, the boys are giving me some water. I better have a sip. I must need it. It's hot, and I was thirsty. Glug, 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 glug. And I was so embarrassed. I ran probably 100 meters from where you gave me the water, and there was another team there waiting to do a handover for their team. I spewed right in front of their van, and they're all just like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And it was just nervous energy and water in like an empty belly. But fuck, first run.
And you got to paint the picture that you're not just running 10 Ks by yourself, and then we'll see you at the 10K map with like kind of the team and like the support vehicles there every like
it's kind of like a big
2
game.
or 3K. So you're just like constant kind of do you need anything, whatever like that. So that like later on, and when you've like 50K under your belt, you're like, all right, I want to see you in 2Ks. Like, I need
you in a while.
And for people that probably don't know or don't have context of like TSP. We had a small van which sat about 8, could sit about 8 of us.
We had a mum soccer van.
Yeah, soccer van, American soccer van. And then we had like a real big RV.
Yeah,
like,
big
like real
Winnebago
It was
style.
the biggest on TSP, right? It was huge.
So it was massive.
This is the thing, like this thing expanded on the sides if you wanted.
Yeah, amazing. We really invested in that, didn't we?
Yeah, we didn't use it.
And the Winnebago would go ahead and park kind of what? Like you said, like 4 hours.
So 4 legs
4
ahead.
hours, 4 legs ahead.
Yeah,
less than that.
4 running hours ahead.
Yep.
Is the easiest way. So then you're driving, 40K. So that's a fair bit. Like however long that takes with traffic and the train and turns and stuff. But basically it's 550 kilometer game of leapfrog.
Yeah, exactly.
Either you and your team and a runner and a car. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
What was the first major blowout?
No, hey.
Man, did you run through that? So some of the terrain that TSP takes you through, there's heaps of warnings that they give out. Like you got to run with mace and rattlesnake bandages, and it's pretty much everything short of a harpoon, like to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just in case, pretty much. And there's stories of people being chased by dogs and rattlesnakes and all sorts of things. We were lucky enough. I don't think anyone saw a rattlesnake in ours. But did you get chased? Who got chased by a dog?
I don't think anyone actually got chased by a dog. I know. So Nick ran through like the dog town, there's something out of like just what
It
some
was
sort
a-
of the Grand
yeah.
Theft Auto town or something like that. Or
Amazing
something
suburb.
real
Just like,
crazy, like a town that. So we were one leg out, and then a call goes out over WhatsApp or whatever, being like, "Hey, just so you know, there's been a major drug bust in whatever town that was." So we were,
Hicksville, USA.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So we were like, 40 minutes out of that, and some bunch of dogs being knocked down. So that's probably one pretty major kind of thing we dodged bullet
that
off.
was and Nick doesn't like dogs
Oh,
that
he
much.
hates dogs.
Yeah,
Dogs.
so it was pretty heavy running. Like there were just dogs like roaming around stray.
Mm.
I think.
Oh yeah,
sickest-
it's like desert dogs. There's like stray dogs, but I think in that town in particular, in the front yards, there were some dogs that do some damage. But they were all like pretty chained up.
And it was probably just the first spot where I remember when we were going through and we were like, wow, this is like, I haven't seen a town like this before.
No.
And it was like in the middle of nowhere in America.
So we've just been
Like-
running through the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
flat out
haven't
desert.
seen like proper Death Valley. Was that Death Valley?
No,
Not
before.
Nah,
just
way
before
before.
Death Valley.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing. It's literally desert. The road's cracked out. There's like empty plane shells on the side of the road.
Yeah, so
busted
the
up
big old
cars.
plane graveyard up the
Yeah,
top.
GTA.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
full on GTA.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. It's
Yeah.
like GTA. But then that town, I remember that in the middle, it was almost like a giant roundabout. And in the middle of the roundabout was the middle of the town, which was a servo and a shitty
Yeah.
like
Mm.
7-Eleven kind of, not 7-Eleven, but like a, what do you call it? Convenience store.
Yes.
And then
It's
all
like
do you remember the houses were like built around it, like facing the servo? Remember those? I remember I went in there because we stopped to get ice, and this dude pulled me up because we got running stuff on, and he goes, "Oh, you know, what are you guys doing?" Sort of thing, and we're running. You know, where from? And we told him, "Holy shit, you guys are crazy!" This dude, busted man, like big old mullet on him, no front teeth, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Portland. I used to run at the campus." And he was telling me, I don't know if he was full of shit, but it seems like a lot of information to
Blue
know.
Ribbon Sports, OG.
And he reckons he's old, like Oregon dude, and he grew up running and used to run at the Nike campus and all this sort of stuff. And he was just blown away. And he was this dude that was so scary looking, but was so drawn to us in our running gear. And he was so pumped for us. He was like, "Go get it, boys! Get out there!" Like so funny.
Same as those kids. Do you remember that? You know, like those kids that came up to us?
I was running at that point.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was out in the leg.
We were filling up with
Wait, Jimmy.
petrol.
Yeah,
I was running at that point. I was out in the leg.
getting the lazy arm.
That was amazing though. Like people, how astonished people were. Like those kids, the two kids on BMXs cruised up and just wouldn't leave us alone. Trailed the car out of this town,
Yeah,
and you kind of went into like that, like GTA playing territory.
So that would have been at about 4 or 5 o'clock
Mm.
Must have
Going
been
in
into
the
the first
night.
afternoon of the first day. So
It was super because I was like running right then. I was like super, just like cooled down a
well,
bunch.
There you go. It was the second leg after I tagged
Yeah,
Nick
so
in,
second
then we were
round.
next. So it was probably earlier. It was probably like 1 or 2 o'clock.
Oh no, I think it would be maybe like a bit later because I remember it was cooling down quite a bit. The sky was like super, like sun was getting low. And it was like
We'd
super
been
kind of
through a
hazy.
gang.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no,
We'd
totally. Yeah,
been
because I had the
through-
middle of this, like that middle day leg where I was kind of like
Yeah,
that one. I was kind of just couldn't find the end because it just kept like these rolling hills and crazy like turns.
yeah.
And I finally pulled up at some like it was like a Mexican restaurant. And that's like that was the handover.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
So yeah, going into nightfall, and so at this point we've been running. Geez, what's that? Like 12 hours.
14,
Yeah.
16 hours.
14, 16 hours.
Everyone's still feeling pretty fresh by that point, though. The excitement. The first thing I remember around that point when that temperature started dropping, it was almost like I'd just woken up again because the heat is it's pretty out of control. There's just no. You know, when you go for a normal run here and it's hot, but you're running through a trail or even the 10, at least there's trees that overhang and you get a little bit of coverage.
Yeah.
Over there, there's nothing
You get all of it.
at all. You just got the heat. You're not getting a shadow from anything.
And like I felt for the Northern Hemisphere teams that came through from midwinter and then exposed bam straight into
Yeah.
You see, that's exactly what happened with Tracksmith. All those guys are training all winter in Boston. I think it was like second leg in, one of their dudes gets heat stroke.
Really?
Like that's it. He's done. Yeah.
Well,
he was
I'm
done
not
for the whole
surprised
thing.
at all.
Well, almost. I maybe the second leg in, but at least like very early days.
Oh man.
So it's what happens. Train in like
Climatized.
-0 Celsius kind of times, and then you come out to like running through the middle of the day, essentially 35, 40 degrees.
So when this the sun goes down, how did you guys feel? For me, it was like thank fucking God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's a new variable. You're like, all right, now it's not only running in the desert, fully exposed, but the lights are off. So how do you prepare for that? Like,
well, it's not the sort of thing running at night you don't really practice for. You're not going, you might go for some night runs or whatever, but not by yourself in the middle of nowhere
on some sketchy highways.
Yeah, literally on Route
with a
66.
blinking light. You're literally following a basketball-sized dot in front of you.
Yeah.
Hoping that something's just not going to abduct you.
If that,
you know?
I was like,
you're just in your own shadow. Yeah,
I was just trying to find footprints the whole time.
Yeah,
like trying to make sure I'm on the right path. That's some like that really wacky leg later, and I was like through the middle of nowhere, headlamp. I'm like, all right, footprints, sick. I'm not lost.
So I think we should outline that the race takes you. Some parts you're on roads and sidewalks, especially at the start. When you start getting into the desert. The roads, you're not running on freeways ever, you're running on highways and kind of main roads. In these really hot areas, the roads obviously heated so much that the cracks are pretty big. So those big old cracks that you see through the road that get filled up with that black snake looking stuff that freaks you out because you think it's a snake, that stuff's there.
You're just hopscotching through the
jumping through there. Sometimes it's easy. I found I'd just run on the dirt on the side of the road because it was easier than jumping over like kind of shitty road. But you kind of go back and forth. But there's definitely sections where you hit where it's just trail. It's when you're hitting like really almost some parts are like hard beach sand and some parts are soft beach sand. Some parts are rocky, hilly, proper single track trail, like proper trail stuff. So there's a heap of variance there. And so like I ran in trail shoes for all the night ones because it was just had more stability. It was a wider shoe.
Yeah, I changed my shoes at night.
Yeah.
Once, but
yeah. So we hit that night session. Josh, this is when you did some sick legs at night, or you did heaps during the day too.
I think I'm trying to think back to like, I think as a night leg, I ran a leg. I'd run one early with Willocks and then I ran one with Harry when we were in GTA zone about to go into nighttime. But I think at that stage I was just cooked because I've been driving all day. I needed to sleep. I think that was the first time I got to like just switch off for a second.
Was to run.
No.
Sick of it running the car. I'm going to run.
I think I literally, we had a nap. I remember with Mads, we parked the RV near some sketchy train and it kept coming past and waking us up.
Yeah,
it was
that
like,
was nuts.
Yeah. I think that was like, it was after that, which I thought the night was over, but it was probably only like 10 o'clock or something.
Yeah, that was like real late that night because I remember I did a double. No.
Well, that was about 10 o'clock because I was with you when that train happened. And that was just before, I remember about 1 o'clock, I headed out for that like longer leg, the single track one. And that was at like 1:32 in the morning.
Oh, that was at the second stop. I think like for me, night went forever.
Yeah.
Like that first night, like I think like because the first nap we had would have been like 9 p.m. And then like that night went for obviously like another 12 hours. I just remember it never ending.
Yeah.
And being like, they were like
saying it then, I was like, was that the second night? But the second night we're in Vegas.
There was no second night. And I think that's the crazy thing.
Feels.
Yeah. It seriously feels just like it just goes on. And on.
Getting through like there was a bit of a blur there but when you went into that second kind of leg zone, that was when I think that was like deep in the night, like real early morning when things started to get pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one.
That was crazy. So after the train jumped in, you know, everybody's doing their best. There's so many battles that we haven't even talked about that going through this, and everybody, I think to paint the picture, everybody's having a shit time, like loving it, but also going, oh geez, everyone had like,
everyone's got their own battles.
Yeah, my legs sore, my back, I'm fucking tired, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'd love a shower, I'd love a shit. Like everybody's got things going on.
Is mature bat.
Run on batteries, you know.
Yeah. And so everybody's going through their own stuff, but overall, because, you know, like we outlined at the start is, well, you're just doing this for the team. All you have to do is get through this next leg, tag the next person in, and then you'll get some relief to some of your issues. Definitely not getting relief to all of them. Like I only slept probably 2 hours the whole race. What about you guys?
Yeah, like definitely sub 3.
I wouldn't put it over 3.
Yeah. You would have been the same, Josh?
Yeah, 100%.
And even if it was, it's just like rest my eyes, just try and switch the mind off, kind of go in like whatever it might be, but it's still, you're still 300k away, you know, like
do you remember having that thought though in the desert? Were you at any point going, oh my God, we're 300k away?
No, I was just like,
neither.
Yeah, no.
We have done 200k. Like that's amazing. Like I was super pumped on how we got that far, and then we keep going and keep going. I
don't think I ever looked at the distance as a whole. I only ever looked at my individual distance. So I was like, okay, I've done 30k. Oh, I've done 40k, or sick marathon. 50k. You know, I just looked individually, because if I was looking at, oh fuck, we got 300k, 200k, 200. You know,
and that's the thing, because I think I always looked at it like, well, like what I'm doing is a fraction of what the entire team's doing. Like, there's no point me being like getting stuck on the idea of some like huge monument of like, fuck, we're like still 350k's out. And I'm like, all right, I'm doing this, and then then not that the rest is on the team, but then everyone, all right, well then like Willocks is going to do his part, then Jody does his part, and then Harry does her part, and like everyone, it's like everyone pitches in it rather than just being like, fuck, what do I have to do now? Like,
I was counting every K because of you assholes. God, meet me in 2K. I might need some water.
How do you divide mile?
I remember that.
My head,
so many maths
and the maths equations, like the quick math I had to do. Was like trying to convert miles on the car to kilometers,
and then in time, in minutes, and then like because I was someone in the van being like, oh no, just meet me in like 6 minutes. So we're like, because the car's in miles, we're running in kilometers per hour or whatever at pace time. So you're going to divide all this shit to get
60Ks.
Exactly. So
and you guys were so demanding. Like, meet me in 6 minutes. I'll need a water. Come on. Okay, I need a water.
But I mean, so we haven't even mentioned the crew, because none of this is possible without a crew.
No,
I can't imagine.
You're not doing this race without a good, solid crew.
You're not running and crewing. No way.
You're not, number one, if you're thinking about doing the race, you're not running and crewing, good luck. Even if you're running, you do have some opportunities to help the crew, meaning you just emptied that water bottle, now you can fill it up. But there's not a fucking chance that you're going to run and then drive. No way. Like, if you're doing that, hats off. Good luck. That's insane.
Even trying to take a
it's just
photo,
not safe even.
Crewing and going for a couple of jogs with you guys, and then trying to take a photo was like, there's no time. You're always doing something.
So I was trying to run and shoot as well, and that was half the time was like, I'd run, be in the van, like fuck, like most of my 3 out of 4 cameras or whatever in the RV. And I'm just kind of like, all right, well, it got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm just going to leave the camera here. Whoever wants to use it, go for it. Just don't fucking break it. Just go for it.
I need to get photos. Anyone press the button.
Anyone press the fucking button. Anybody with a finger. Let's fucking hit it.
Got a finger, got a job. But that's the thing. And then the crew, not only breaking down miles and minutes and shitty, calls from runners that we would have all been saying the most whack stuff because we were so fatigued. There's also the safety element as well, because when, as a runner, you're so fatigued, you're just thinking about putting one foot in front of the other, but then you've also got the crew going, yo, Geordie or, whoever, he's pretty cooked. Like, let's keep an eye on him. We need to get him some water. He's real flat. Let's chuck some tunes on. Man, were you guys like actively going to each other as a crew? Like, you have your own team?
100%, man. To be honest, Mads was amazing. She was the whole time so aware of everyone. Because I think Mads drove quite a bit as well, but I think because I was driving a lot and Mads was just always looking around and watching everyone and watching the runners, like people in the car, in the van, being like, what's happening? How are people feeling? I think without her doing that, we would have been absolutely cooked.
She's fucking observant too.
Yes, so pick up on things. Yeah, I think like her keeping the mood up, like just at little spots when like you need a little kick, like you just like clocked like 10K super fast. You got another leg coming up. Yeah, real quick. You're exhausted. Like you just want to sit and chill. But with the energy that Mads was throwing out was insane. Yeah. I think like a mature rolling, like he had like quite a few solo points where he was just driving like the van for a while, right? The RV.
Yeah. So he was doing the some RVs like solo time in there. But he was also, I remember legs when Machu was the only, like you guys needed to kind of get off the road for a bit as well.
Yeah.
And Machu doing like the solo,
both. Yeah.
solo like
driving
navigation,
and keeping everyone up.
getting
Nav,
everyone
yeah.
by. Like that was mental.
Yeah. Like hats off to him. He was all over that.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Oh, and you, dude. You were like, I remember this. Do you remember there's a photo floating around of me and Josh in the back of the car and we're like looking at phones? I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, I think I saw
Mad
it.
Man, dude,
Yeah.
I'm so cooked in that. I have no idea where I'm running. And that's Josh dropping pins on my map. And he was basically
Damn.
just going, Geordie, shut
Follow
the
the
fuck up.
pins.
Run to this pin, to the next pin. This was that off-road.
I do remember that,
like
though,
35, I think it is. It's that notorious 15K on the trail. And I was going to run it
super
solo.
trail.
But
Yeah, like
proper,
uphill,
that was
yeah.
proper. I remember running that thing there. So that leg, you, Willocks were running obviously before me to tag me into that one. But we'd switch crews at this point, which we'll talk about in a second. But you were supposed to tag Georgie, who would then tag me.
Mm-hmm.
But you were flying that night and you'd done your leg, came up to us.
I was flying because I was running by myself in the dark. So like,
Didn't know what was behind you.
Yeah. And look, if you can conjure that fear, like grasp it and run forward. But like, yeah, I seen it a lot, and exactly what you were saying, Jim, about following the footsteps. I was literally just going a hundy, and then I got to the tag in point, and Josh was there actually.
This was what Geordie was saying. We were in the back of the car, kind of spilling ideas because Geordie, you were a little not rattled, but you were pretty cooked at this point, right?
I was so cooked, man.
And the leg coming up solo that you're about to run.
Scared on that because I put my hand up like I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. It's on the trail. I love running trails. Yeah, I'll do this. And this was like before we got to America when we were looking at legs. Let alone my legs blown up. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I don't know how to read the map because my brain's not working anymore. And so Josh was trying to help me out by dropping these pins. And I think you kind of made like almost an executive call, like without saying it. You were kind of going, Georgie, why don't you run this with George? Like George and Jordan run this. And I was just kind of going, fuck yeah, if he wants to run it, that'd be sick. Like we could hold hands and get through it together.
Yeah, it took a little bit of convincing. Hey,
yeah, because I was kind of like I didn't want to put somebody else through that leg because I'd been like mentally going, the leg's going to suck. Yeah. I'm going to get through it. It's going to be fine as long as I know where to go on the map.
But that's that team environment. Yeah, it's like linking up. Like you need to run with your team member at certain points, and like it's not. That's why it's a team event. So you're just like, you jump into that.
And that was still my favorite leg. So what happened there is that you kind of, Josh, you masterminded that and you went, oh, what about if you guys run together and we see if Willocks is looking strong? Let's see if you won. This is why you're on the trail, Willocks.
You'd already clocked 10, I think.
Yeah, you'd already done 10. So you had to do 20.
So the idea was that...
But that 20 was a little bit flatter, I think, than the 15 that I was going to do.
It was still 20K.
Yeah. Well, that's why, because 20K is fucking a long way, dude.
And then
because that's where I jumped in with you, and you were looking for someone else. You should have been tagging in George or something.
So that was the whole deal.
And then we linked up. This was like the first throwdown with the Dromo
crew. Yeah.
So this is when I met my Mexican in the desert.
Hey. Shout out to Dromo Run Crew.
Dromo Run Crew.
Shout out.
The
amazing
best crew. So long story longer, Josh, you end up running the next leg with Willocks,
who just run 10K. So I jumped in so I could pull him along and make sure that he was chill to do another 10.
Yeah.
So we just kind of like just distract Willocks and just kind of chat away, which was a really sick leg. And like you said, we had good hangs and chats with the Dromo guys.
Yeah.
And then the idea was that George would jump in with you. Yeah. And then you guys would get to do a tandem leg.
Yeah, the old double tags.
And George's head wouldn't be going self for scales.
Yeah, it was just, and that leg, I don't know about your leg, like you guys, that was so sick, like getting it through. And then I kind of had that little bit of time to George and I to kind of psych each other out and be like, yeah, let's get this, let's go. And headlamp's good. Yep. That leg was so much fun. It was out of control because we'd linked up with Dromo too. So we ran into Yolanda from Dromo, epic runner. She's so good. And we start going on this single track, and we caught up to her. She was a little bit in front of us. Excuse me. We ran up to her. We start chatting. We're halfway through this, maybe 5Ks in now, talking, she's speaking Spanish, and, we're just kind of, oh yeah, cool, awesome. Bloody Georgie.
Georgie, little unsung hero.
Georgie just starts speaking Spanish.
Chits her up.
And I'm just going, Georgie, what's going on? And he's like, oh,
International man of mystery.
Dude, that guy, just full of surprises, starts talking Mexican, starts talking Spanish. And then he's all of a sudden, here's me on the outside. I'm getting translated to. But she taught us how to run properly up and down hills. So she couldn't, and I'm sure she would agree, she couldn't run on sand. She was struggling so hard in this really thick beach sand, really soft, sloppy sort of stuff. And when you're running on that, you got to kind of keep your feet really flat. That's kind of the easiest way to do it. And growing up in Australia, you're always, like it or not, you're going to run on sand at some point. She didn't know how to do that. So we were kind of teaching her, no, run like this, just style, really subtle things to keep some pace up. And then we get to this hill. You should have seen a mountain goat just hooks up there. We get to the top, and it's this really loose rock that was sliding on top of it. Not loose as in fucking loose, you're slipping down the thing. I look at her, man, she's skiing down this thing. No joke. She was just and just not running, just getting this thing down. I'm on all fours, on my bum, falling down this hill. And she just gets this, man, it was so sick. And then, get to the end of the leg. And that's when I think teams, we started all crossing over.
I think Dan and Nick tagged in from that, didn't they?
We tagged Dan and Nick from that.
Because then they put another 20, 22 Ks.
They did a double leg. So there was an unexpected
half marathon for breakfast.
Half marathon. You do the half.
But I think what happened is because I think I was supposed to take one of those legs and I was just fucked. Yeah. I was absolutely cooked. So I was
you and Georgie switched. No,
I think I was supposed to take. We kind of just went back a leg. So instead of Nick doing 10 Ks and then instead of Nick doing 10 Ks and then Dan doing 10 Ks, they both did 20 Ks together.
Yeah.
And then Harry took the next 11
That's
or so.
right,
And then so that pulled everyone back a leg.
Gotcha.
In a sense. Because I was just I would just.
You were pretty cooked
at this
stage,
My guts was gone. I was and I was
shout
my
out to Hydrolyte, but maybe had
too much Hydrolyte. And I was
overhydrated.
My calf was about to explode. I was picking my legs up to move them. It was another world.
So I think that's if we're going to talk about major blow-ups of what happened in the whole race, it would be when AM team and PM team was no longer. So we found ourselves just after these legs in there about to hit Death Valley properly.
Probably, yeah.
For a full day Death Valley.
There was that last town. Everyone's get what you need here because then it's just desert from there.
That was a weird vibe in that little town as well.
Yeah. So I remember getting back into the van at that point, and Bond did so much of the logistical work of figuring out this is who's running what leg, this is the order, this is how the team should be balanced. And it was just amazing, amazing work. And without all that, I don't think we could even start, right? But I remember getting so fatigued, getting back into that van, totally cooked out. I got to be honest, this is when I was probably my most pissed off, because I think at that point I'd just done maybe 40K, something a little bit over that would probably be about right.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, haven't slept yet, get back in. It's now 24 hours awake. And I just kept telling myself, all right, sick. I'm just going to have a snooze when I get back into the van after this leg, and get into the van. It's nobody's fault, but there's just nowhere to sleep.
That's right.
The van was full.
I got a photo of this where you slept as well.
Where I was on the passenger seat.
I got a photo of you looking just
hazy,
just feeling so average.
I came in and all I was thinking, I was running, going, just keep going, man. You're gonna get a snooze. You're gonna have some cold pizza. Snooze. And I just get in. There's 3 people in the bed at the back. The bunks are full. There's someone on the couch. There's someone lying on the kitchen table. And there was literally the driver's seat or the passenger seat. Yeah. And I just went, oh, fuck, okay. And so I sat there. That's when you like were taking that photo, and you just end up just melting, and you just sit there.
And the thing is, it was getting hot again as well. Like we'd gone through the night, morning had come through. It was like nice and desert pretty, just lots of like pink sky and everything. And then it starts to get like clouds start to move out the way, and the sun's just beating down again.
Yeah.
Pull out of a gas stop, and you're like, all right.
Yeah. Running through Death Valley that day.
Then you're Death Valley, here he comes. But this is when the teams crossed over. This is when teams changed. So I remember Bond came up to me. I don't know, you guys tell me the rest of the story, but Bond came up to me and basically starts telling me all this shit, and my brain can't even recognize it. I'm just going, Bond, tell me, what do you want me to do? I don't understand, like, what's going on? I now understand that what he was saying was, look, AM team is not getting as much recovery time. Like Harry got like a little bit sick at a point. I remember she got like she like almost fainted at one point.
Yeah, because I think she threw up on the second leg and then came back strong and then kind of dipped out again.
And we were all doing this sort of stuff. Your leg was giving you grief. You'd over hydrolyted yourself up. Yeah. But what had happened, which was really funny, well, not funny, really interesting, is that the AM team smashing out Ks, PM team were coming in. We were working really, really well, but because we were working well, it reduced your recovery time. And that had happened so many times that it was time to dismantle the band and the teams needed to change. Yeah. And so that's what I remember Bond now was saying, dude, basically keep your shoes on, you're going back out again because we need to switch teams.
After the sixth sleep, yeah.
And I just fucking looked at him and I just went, yep, okay. Fucking dickhead. Fucking love you, Bond. Man, that pit, oh man, I was just... But it was shattered. Needed. It was needed, man. It was needed. It was to the team, but I was so shattered.
And especially now, once we got to Death Valley, it all worked out.
It feels like we settled then.
Everything balanced back out. It was like a full reset going into Death Valley. There was no weird variables in Death Valley. It's kind of like, more desert. It's not like you got this weird turn, some like stop. You got to like fill up gas out, or you got to like everything was just one road.
Just run.
No weird
road.
Trails to like hide out on and try and find people. It was just
no hick-ass towns.
No, it was just go.
Just run.
And as fucked as Death Valley sounds, it's pretty beautiful. It was one of the most amazing landscapes.
Amazing.
Like I didn't know what I was getting in for. I didn't look at the map really until driving, and I was just like, this is insane.
Yeah,
completely insane.
Do you know what's also insane?
It's
a hill that goes for 160 k's.
What the heck? Like Death Valley goes up?
Wasn't that like
No. So Death Valley's just flat forever, and then the last climb into LA, into Vegas. Sorry,
how long was that fucking hill?
Oh, dude, it goes. It just fucking goes.
It was 106 k's before the Pierce, but it was forever.
Oh no, I think it was close to 100k, surely. If not,
it took forever.
It's just fuck.
It was just a solid incline for a long damn way.
And we did it like almost close to midnight. We're 10 p.m. pitch black.
Well, we started
running up the side of a highway.
Well, so there's a photo here somewhere because remember we're throwing the frisbee at that bottom of the hill. There's like an intersection, and you took an epic photo of a bunch of us. We're standing down there. That's the bottom of the hill, basically.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Once we'd gone through Death Valley,
the sun was going down when that photo was taken. And so we ran up that hill to about midnight. So it was probably a solid 6 hours of running up a hill. So however
do the math
long
there.
that is.
But like, that
so we hit Death Valley when sunrise.
Yeah.
And then
we got out of it at sunset.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Death Valley came in at like 300 and something Ks in.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty goes.
I loved the day.
Yeah.
That was like my bread and butter right there. Hot.
Yeah.
Hard and fast.
Man, so you got that amazing downhill, windy hill. What was going through your head like in that leg? Because everybody was jealous of that leg.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good. And look, I didn't realize what it was. Like it sucked when you're going up.
Yeah, of course.
And like it's anything. It's like, God, like my head's pounding. I'm just like, it was the first kind of real, oh my God. Like I said to myself, I won't stop. Like, but that was like the times when I was just like, oh my God, like maybe I'll stop, like just chill here, like compose myself and go again. But like pushed. And then I just got this badass like S kind of.
Dude, that downhill, watching you, because like we parked up right at probably the bottom of the second curve on the way down.
Yeah.
And we saw you come like, so as the kind of pillar, the peak of the hill, it like sits on the corner. So we just saw you come around the corner and just smoke the way through.
And that's it. It was just so good just to kind of like, just punch it, like, and
it was amazing terrain.
Oh, like it's like ingrained into your brain.
You can't unsee that,
yeah. And it's just like, just go for it, you know, and you can kind of see the crew there and you're just like, you're literally like, you on the way down past them and just, it's like kicking you out at the bottom, and then you're just like, you see your buddy that you're just about to tag in, and then you don't want to stop when you tag them, and you just like, I'm just so pumped right now that I'm going to run a bit more with you, because like this is what it's about. It's like you're running with new friends in the middle of the desert, and you've just like done this awesome length or leg, and you're just like, man, like just go for it. Hey, it's so dope.
It breeds an amazing feeling of solidarity between strangers.
Absolutely.
And so there's like one level of solidarity and connection between the team where you go, man, fuck, I could have done it without you. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for having my back. And it's all super mutual. But then you know that the 48 other teams, 48, right? Something like that?
Yeah.
39.
39 teams that are out there as well battling it, are going through something fucking similar. So you get to the end, there's this like unspoken like respect for one another. It doesn't matter if you came in first or last. You still did it. You're still like, oh man, good job. You got through that.
You have the same battles, just different speed,
maybe
right?
a bit slower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So arguably you're telling me that the same battles we had to endure them longer. So maybe it's more badass if you go slower. Because you have to take it.
It's not what I'm saying necessarily, but
Man. So fast forward, we get up this hill, we sprint down the hill, so many funny things. We get into Vegas at about 1 a.m., right?
Oh, not even. I reckon it was like maybe.
Was it midnight?
Maybe midnight.
No,
like 12.
it was I'm pretty sure it was pre-midnight or like, did we hit before midnight?
I don't know.
We did it. No, it was like, it would
makes for a good story.
We did it in 44 hours and 12 minutes.
44 hours.
So we got in it right after midnight.
Oh, just after,
Yeah, it's 12, is it, I guess.
Man, that was fucking insane. What a race.
Yeah. And Bond's mate who owns a brewery outside meets us with a bunch of beers. I'm like,
that was the
yes,
best.
Please.
Yeah, get there. Dromo, we're in, pretty similar
we
time.
got 6 minutes after whatever.
We got to say like the back and forward with Dromo, like coming up into Vegas. That was like continuous.
The leapfrog with them. We would take over for a bit. They would take us over, and it just kept going. That kept us driving hard. And
seriously, because that last
going.
uphill, I would like it. It was just such like the game was on. Like you'd see someone's vest up in front, and it's like it's either all right, that's my tag, and you know it's not. You're like, all right, shit, that's someone out of another team. Like you just book it. But
you look behind.
And you
look behind, and they're just there, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, and then they pass like you again. You see them pass another teammate, and you're like, all right, shit. Like next person on, get past.
And that feeling when someone overtakes you, though.
Yeah,
you're like, oh shit. Willocks, you probably never had that feeling.
No, but like it's just like it's that like that cat and mouse kind of racing. And you're so close to the sign, and you're just like, all right, I'm digging deep. I'm going for this. I ain't gonna let this.
You can see the glow of Vegas on the back of the hill,
and then you're just like, I'm so close. I'm just gonna
once we could see that, I remember like coming over the hill. Like once in the RV, we swapped back into the RV, coming over the hill, and just seeing everything open up, and you see out the city just like booming with light, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, the energy that thing like kind of put into you was just insane.
I was just running up and down in the van. I was like in the RV.
Man.
Which is
Are you saying that illumination from Vegas or In-N-Out Burger when we were waiting for the rest of the crew?
Just that yellow arrow, man, just beaming.
I was like, I'm gonna get one of those.
But I think like the craziest thing to me was like, and it still stands up in my mind, like going up that uphill. Because you couldn't see it. I couldn't see it finish anytime because there was no lights and there was a lot of bends and twisting. But I remember like just already like being on the mend thanks to like a lot of magnesium oil and like cold brew and whatever else we had. But
just massaging cold brew into the cup. Get some coffee.
Yeah, drinking magnesium oil and massaging cold brew in my legs.
A little bit of party, mate.
Try anything. But I was like feeling real sharp. But then like once it's your turn to run up that hill or get out for the leg, you're out and you got the vest on and you can feel as shit as you want to, but as soon as you see someone else booking up a hill, you're like, all right, it's like go or go.
Time to go.
And so this comes back down to that solidarity thing where you kind of like,
Chuck on
it's just
God's
like
plan and
the
then
crew
you're
will get
ready
you
to
through.
roll.
Yeah.
Drake's God plan.
Oh, dude, so much Drake.
Oh,
Playing so much
You
Drake.
guys actually ruined my Spotify 2018 playlist.
What was number one?
My most played song was God's Plan because I was driving a heap and my phone was always in the car. It was just on loop.
Yeah.
The amount of time, it's ridiculous.
no way.
Oh,
That's
worth it.
insane. Classic.
Yeah.
All right. So the question, would you do it again? If so, what would you change? or let's start. Willocks, would you do it again?
Yes, I'd definitely do it
Would you
again.
do it again? If you were to do it again, how would you tackle it differently? Would you do it the same? What is there things that you've learned?
Things that I learned that what you build in your head something bigger than not what it actually was. There was just so many unknowns. So I'm going back that I've got experience in it. So I semi-know it. You're never going to know everything. But if I were to go back again, I'd just go with intention of leaving it all out there, going as hard as I can, and not whether it's out on the pavement, in the van or in the RV, just like bringing the vibes as 100%. And that's what I wanted to be, as I said at the start, like the best version of myself. So that was my goal, and I'll do that moving forward,
Do it again.
Yeah.
Man. Jimmy, what Jimmy, what do you do?
Oh, I'd do it again for sure. But I think, I don't know, I thought about it a bit, and actually I'll be going back in like this year just for like maybe crewing, but like Good Sport magazine work kind of deal.
Oh, I didn't realize you were heading back.
Yeah, so me neither.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so I'll be back there, but
Bring
on
the
the other
ball
side, I'll be on your side, possibly, or some other side of the
Your crew life.
of the shorts. But yeah, no, I do it again for sure. But I think I'd have to do it with a team of people who had already done it. I think it'd be pretty tricky trying to mix people who have like first person experience of the race and then people who don't. Whether it's like crew or runners, probably doesn't matter, but people that just haven't been out there and have, I think that would be pretty messy.
You can't unsee what you've seen or unlearn those things and go into it. That the element of surprise that we all had of not knowing what's next was something that kind of brought us closer together.
Yeah. And I think just like what Willocks just said of like kind of knowing what you have to give out there for everybody, like whether it's you're in the van handing waters, like giving like people like food or anything like that, or running or pushing and helping people how you can. I think you know a different level of that once you've actually been out there, as opposed to once you're like, if you're just planning or thinking about it. Yeah. Like once you've actually had it under your belt, you've really like it gets to the point where I think when you're out there for the first time, you kind of think that you've got a lot of time to just like help out and put your bid in, but then and you don't really realize that it ends. Yeah. And so I think going back, you can be like, all right, I actually have like 40 hours to give it everything I got, where I think I didn't really realize that the first time.
You almost feel like it's going forever.
Exactly. You kind of feel like you've just got all this time to kind of like, I can like make up for that later.
If you go, 2 days, fuck, it's such a long time, but it's not.
But in the grand scheme,
just think about those benders, eh? They fly by.
They fly.
Joshy, would you if you go back, you run, right? Would you run it?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about just while you guys were talking, I think I would crew again, but that's like a different conversation. But I think my biggest thing was crewing, and like I ran most of my like parts with people on the back half. And I think like I was buggered at the end of that back half, and thanks to Mads for driving a heap of that for me, so I could get involved and support. But I think I just wanted to run more, and like watching you guys out there, I think I was just like, I just want to be out there.
We got to say, dude, you didn't have any idea how many Ks you smashed out, because it would have been 40.
I think it's quite a bit.
It must have been somewhere between 40 and 50, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was way closer to 50.
Like you did nothing. It's not like you're out there doing a K.
I never quite did the maths, and I didn't track it. So, but I think like it was just that back half coming in was so much.
You did a lot with me.
thanks to Willocks and you, Jordan, and George. I had a real awesome time with George running into Vegas. I ran a heap with him. Yeah. That was epic, getting his legs rolling. But I think I just wanted to be out there.
Yeah. It's hard not to, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're there and as a runner, like it's not like you're not a runner.
Yeah.
Which is the other thing. It's
exactly. And I think that probably just calls on my make decisions earlier, make some plans, hey. But I'd crew again, I think.
Yeah.
But I crew almost not drive and just support run, because I think that was like super
almost
awesome.
Support run's good.
Yeah.
That's like even like an additional kind of
role.
Yeah, to future teams, Like you don't realize how much that person brings to your mental state, the whole team state.
Definitely.
I'd happily not be a competitor and run 70K just like to be with people and like run in how many ever amounts, because I think that was super fun. Like knowing that you guys were the ones that had to put it in, and I could just like jump in and like push you guys. That was the sick part.
Man, I reckon.
Joy, how about you? The big question.
Yeah.
After all the injuries.
Yeah. So I fucked my leg. I'm still fucked.
the knees
are
swollen.
At the
I
moment.
feel like it blew a lot of people out for a long time.
It
George was
definitely
cooked, Bum was cooked.
Yeah, it ruined me. It definitely ruined me, which sucks. So I ended up having stress fractures in my shin. So that took me out for like a solid amount of time. Would I run it again? Answer's yes. But it would have so many asterisks after it. It's like, yes.
Clause.
Terms and conditions,
Clause number 1 has to be with the right people. Not saying that we didn't have the right people, but I can easily see how quickly things could fuck up if you weren't on the same wavelength. Therefore, the right people would have to be people who've run it before, because there's no chance. Could you imagine how frustrating it would be to be like, yeah, come on, Johnny, just fucking, do this. Or Johnny, chill the fuck out, man. Like, you've never done this before. Like, that's going to cost so
Johnny
much.
guy.
Just the friction from that.
Dude, he's fast. You should see Johnny. But do you know what I mean? That friction, just like you said, James, is that, I'd need to run it with people who have run it before. The obvious one for me is probably get more Ks on my legs before getting there. And it's not like I wasn't running at all. I think it's safe to say it's not like I was running like super slow or anything like that. It just, at the end I was, but just more Ks on your legs would definitely be the one. But I think the biggest one I would definitely recommend to crews is, if the sun's out, run 2K. If the sun's down, run 10. Run fucking 20. Run however far you want. Because during that day, it is so damn hot. I remember them being some of those longer 10K legs in the middle of the day. The sun's coming down. And for me personally, I think that I could run more legs quicker with, and this only works if everybody's doing it, because if I go do a fast 2K and then you go do 10K, well, that doesn't work because I just had too much recovery time. So if everybody's doing 2Ks, let's call it 8 minute sort of things, your recovery time is not that long. So you could probably punch out, 5 or 6 or 7 of those legs. That might be a way to tackle it.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, because you could almost have like a distance team and then like a sprint team. You kind of mix that up and then like kind of cycle through
daytime,
that.
nighttime.
Yeah, essentially. So the nighttime guys kind of like
imagine that
crew
a
runs
day
a bit
crew,
longer.
The night crew sleeps all day, but I just think that's so risky, because the night crew, like, they just see nothing the whole time. They're just in the dark.
But I think also
night walkers,
like the unspoken like part of that is like, you're running in like the day sun and like the hot beaming just like temperature, but you're also recovering in that as well.
Yeah.
Like you're not home on the couch
cold.
under the aircon, you're not in a pool, you're not in an ice bath, you're like in like a stinking hot RV or a van, kind of cramped up, like here and there. You're not like, it's not doing any favors.
Yeah, man.
And that's half of it too.
I think overall, get that food, get that water into you, good vibes, good tunes,
Cold pizza.
cheer the fuck out of your mates. You're having the hell time. For most people out there that are going to run it, this is such a small event. It's not the sort of thing
you're
that
on a
you
very
can.
short list.
You're on a small list. just be so grateful that you're there, that you're running, you're having a hell time, help each other out. Who cares what team you're on?
Yeah. Bottom line, I think the crew will get you through. Was that
for sure.
The rule?
And anyone listening, this isn't the race that you can go on the website and sign up for. So if it sounds like a good thing, well, good luck.
Yeah.
You got to make friends.
2020.
Invite only.
2020. Yeah, it is, right? You have to be
invite only. You got to be on a very
special.
You've got to be like, all things aside, like you got to be a special individual to be like, yeah, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And that's like when you were saying before,
delusional.
like I'm only going to do it with people that
special or delusional.
done it before.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, but there are crazy kids that just be like, I'd love to do this.
Yeah,
and so it's just like,
if you're crazy enough to do that, then maybe let's do it. Yeah,
and like good, like commend it. Like I feel like I've got 3, 4, 8, 11 new mates out of it. So
exactly,
that's the best thing that you can kind of come together on as a crazy experience like it is.
Man, far out. Well, to AMPM 2.0 crew going out there.
You'll be sweet.
Yeah, all the girls are absolutely killing it right now.
This year's all girls team, 6 runners, right?
Yeah, 6 runners.
OG.
To be fair, one of them, I can't remember her name, but ran a simulation of the race like the other week, just over a weekend.
You're kidding me.
She ran like, however far in like over a course of a day or two, just ran whatever, 80Ks, 90Ks. Yeah, ran like simulated the legs.
Like 10K, swap 10K.
Yeah, we just did.
Oh my God.
Split
I'm
up
so
4-hour rests and then just did legs around at home.
Mate.
I think it was over a weekend. It was like literally over a weekend, which is I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, this is ludicrous.
That's amazing.
Well done.
Yeah. To all teams, especially AMPM teams and any other teams going out there, like have the sickest time. You're gonna have it's you're never gonna forget. Yeah. It's gonna be epic. Just have a hell one, right?
And be in the moment. Like,
live it.
Man, it's just that Vegas pool party afterwards. Save it up.
The best part is
all the food you think you'll eat at the end, but definitely won't eat at the end because you can't stomach it.
You can't have anything. Dudes, I think it's time for some pub grub for us.
Yeah,
definitely do that.
All right.
More beers.
Mate, that's that. Thanks so much for coming in. Let's
pleasure.
Let's do it again.
Always.
Maybe the chat before the run though.
Yeah.
Legends. All right.
Thanks, Aaron's fan.
Yeah.
Thanks.